In this video, you'll discover intermittent fasting mistakes that are actually causing you to gain weight instead of lose it. Hi ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Zarowski and welcome back to the channel. Now if you're new to the channel, it's a pleasure to have you here. Be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification, and be sure to join our notification community. That way it can help you skyrocket your health. Now in this video, we're talking about intermittent fasting, specifically intermittent fasting mistakes that make you gain weight. Now a lot of people use intermittent fasting because they want to lose weight. I know for me personally, I like to use intermittent fasting as a way to stay lean and do it pretty effortlessly. Now a lot of people, they're intermittent fasting, but they still can't lose the love handles. They still can't lose the weight on their waist and under their arms, and they're just not getting the results that they want to see. But what they're doing is making some mistakes that are causing them to gain some weight and even put on fat during intermittent fasting. Let's go ahead, dive right in, and talk about the major things that you need to look out for that you are probably not aware of. First on our list is going to be stress, okay? Stress is a problem, and because a lot of people have it in their life. Now, when you're doing intermittent fasting, you are imposing a healthy physiological stress on your body. But the problem is that when you put that stress onto your system, and then you add excessive exercise, financial stress, family stress, and too little sleep, at the end of the day, it's all stress. And the problem is your body can't tell the difference. And what happens from there, you raise a lot of cortisol into the system, it raises insulin, which puts on fat, and then it also is going to be releasing a lot more sugar into your bloodstream as well. So we have to make sure that we're going in, basically making sure that we're working to reduce stress. Now, the other thing that happens is you're going to get adrenal exhaustion, and it's going to just cause more havoc in the body. And in modern society, you know what happens when people get adrenal exhaustion? They turn to caffeine and just keep pouring more caffeine on it, and it's basically just kicking your adrenals to get them to work when they can't. There's nothing left. And so what we have to do, like I said, is take a better approach to this. First of all, we have to focus on reducing stress. Using stress reduction techniques like mindful meditation is very powerful. Another thing that you can do in order to help deal with stress is use B vitamins, a good B stress complex. And then lastly, the other thing that you can do for your adrenals is use some adaptogenic herbs. This really helps just balance out not only cortisol, but it helps support the adrenals and just helps create balance throughout the entire body. So adaptogenic herbs, B vitamins, and some mindful meditation will help you get some better results with reducing stress and achieving your intermittent fasting goals. Next here is breaking your fast. This is a big one. Now when people are fasting, they're going through all kinds of different things. Some people are going through hypoglycemia states, some people are having lots of cravings, lots of stuff is happening for people here. And when it comes time to break their fast and eat their first meal of the day, they unfortunately turn to high carb, high sugar, processed foods, the things that their brain is telling them that it wants, right? The brain's saying, hey, we need to get some sugar into the system, we need to get some food in here. And so a lot of people are turning to that. Now, the problem is that this basically sets you up for a day of metabolic instability, okay? You don't want to have your first meal of the day cause metabolic instability for the rest of your day. Now, the other thing that we have to look at here is that when you are fasting, your digestion is basically in a resting state, okay? We don't want to break our fast with something that is very hard for our digestion to break down. And things like processed foods, which are full of a bunch of different chemicals, we don't want that in our system for the first thing. We want good nutrient-dense food, we want high-quality food, and typically the best way that I find for people to break their fast is to break it utilizing a nice big salad. That's how I love to break my fast, get a nice big salad, lots of greens, lots of protein on there, and it's a great way. Break that fast, and then of course set your day up for success and energy, not really set your day up for failure. So make sure you break your fast properly so you're not creating metabolic instability. Now the next thing on our list is going to be too much fasting, okay? So I see this a lot, and it's a really interesting thing that people go this route, but a lot of people think like too much of a good thing is even a better thing, but too much of a good thing is not necessarily a good thing. Too much fasting is not good, and what I see people do is basically they'll do intermittent fasting, and then they say, I'm going to start doing one meal a day, and then from there they're going and say, I'm going to do two 24-hour fasts throughout the week, and I'm going to do one meal a day the rest of the week. It's going to end up being too much fasting, and what happens is you put yourself in a calorie restrictive state, and from there you're going to damage your metabolism. Now here's the deal. When we look at fasting, it's not about calorie restriction. Naturally, you may restrict calories a little bit just because you're compressing your eating windows, but in general, we do not want to restrict calories. And in fact, when you go and you start restricting calories to a huge extent, essentially what you're going to do is mess up your metabolic system, and from there you're going to start gaining weight, and you're going to create a lot of instability for yourself. And so if you're someone who's already done this, basically you want to add some exercise in your routine. You want to make sure that you are slowly increasing your calories every single day, and we want to make sure we work to fix this issue, and we want to make sure that we're not fasting too much, because too much fasting is not a good thing. Now, next thing is unknowingly breaking your fast. Now, I see a lot of people do this. I get so many questions. Probably one of the biggest questions I get is, what are the things that you can have while fasting? And typically I like people to just focus on what they are not going to have when they're fasting. Just focus on drinking water. Now, some of the big things that I see people going and breaking their fast with unknowingly, and it's not necessarily your fault, it's basically one of the problems is there's a lot of bad education out there. There's a lot of companies out there saying, hey, if you buy my products, you can put it in your in your coffee and you can drink it and it's not breaking your fast. And so fats is a big one. A lot of people are putting fats in their coffee. They're putting collagen in their coffee. I've heard people say that there's there's keto fast, and there's collagen fast, and basically what they're saying is you can put these different things into your drinks, into your routine when you're in a fasted state, and it's not going to break your fast. That's not true. And so a lot of people are putting creams in that can break your fast, natural sweeteners, and also supplementation as well. Now, the reason that supplementation is not a good thing to consume when you're fasting is simply because it may be breaking your fast. It's just like some of these other things that may be doing this. It may be breaking your fast. So what happens is I tell people, look, take your supplements during your eating window. If it's a supplement that you have to have on an empty stomach, take it 20 minutes before you break your fast. But don't go, let's say if you're doing 16 and 8 and your first meal is supposed to be at noon, don't take your supplements at 8 in the morning. It's not going to be a good thing. You are potentially setting yourself up for failure. When fasting in general, if you want to get the best results, and this is what I do at this point in my life, is I simply drink water and that's it when fasting. I might drink sparkling water, but it's water. And so I stay away from everything else. But when you are unknowingly breaking your fast, then you are not getting any of the benefits of fasting, and you're kind of just putting yourself into a state of starving, okay, right? You wake up in the morning, you break your fast through supplementation, you break your fast through putting fats in your coffee, and at that point you don't eat for another 4 to 6 hours. Essentially you just had a very small meal, and you broke your fast. You're not getting the results, and you're just starving yourself at that point, and that's doing the opposite of what you want. So make sure that you are not unknowingly breaking your fast. If you're someone who's unsure of it and you think that you may be able to get better results, then just simply do water. See what results come out of it. That was a big game changer for myself personally, is because I used to be one of these people who are putting these different, natural sweeteners in, trying different things, and then I found that when I just went right to water and that's all I did, I got much better results. So give that a try. Next on our list is plateauing. Okay, so a lot of people probably notice that when they first start fasting, they see better results. And then it kind of just gets, to the point where they almost see no results from it. Now, here's what you got to do. Just like anything, you can plateau. It happens with exercise. It happens with, if you're on a very strict diet regimen, you typically find that you plateau with it. So one of the things that you want to do is not fast daily. And so what I typically do is only fast 5 to 6 days a week. And then I'll do 1 to 2 days where I won't fast at all. And then I'll also switch it up a little bit. I'll switch my fasting up. I'll do 1 meal a day. I'll do intermittent fasting 16 and 8. I will do no fasting at all. And basically it just kind of creates some metabolic confusion. With that metabolic confusion, I see people see much better results. So give that a try if you've plateaued and you've been fasting for a long time. Last thing on our list here is going to be dehydration. Now this is a big one, because what happens is when you're fasting, you're not eating, so a lot of people also are not drinking water. A lot of times when people are fasting, they try to stay busy so that they don't have the problems of, the cravings and, just wanting to go grab something to eat. And so they stay busy, but they forget to drink water. And also, like I said, with fasting, it's very easy to dehydrate yourself. And so what happens is when you dehydrate yourself, a couple things happen. First of all, if you dehydrate yourself during the fasted hours, you're most likely dehydrated for the rest of the day, unless you've specifically done something to make sure that you mitigate that issue. First of all, dehydration can be mistaken for hunger. So sometimes people go and consume far too many calories because their dehydration is basically, they're interpreting it as they're hungry. And so we got to watch out for that. And you could be over consuming calories there. It's going to cause fluid retention. So we have to be careful with that. You're trying to lose weight, but you have all this fluid retention because you're dehydrating yourself in the fasted hours. And so make sure that we're not doing that. And then the last thing is your body needs to cleanse. Fasting is a really powerful strategy strategy, and it has tons of benefits. And if you want to get the benefits of it, you have to be drinking adequate amounts of water. And I'll say this too, if you're someone who is looking to learn more about fasting and you want a full guide to intermittent fasting, check out a video that I did up here that is a complete guide, teaches you everything you need to know about not only 16 and 8, but 1 meal a day as well. Now, when it comes back to the topic of water, we want to make sure we're getting the adequate water so that we're cleansing our system and that we're flushing out toxins. The intermittent fasting is a great way to start, removing toxins from our system and flushing our systems out, but we have to have adequate hydration. As a rule of thumb, what you want to be doing is consuming half your body weight in ounces. So let's say you weigh 150 pounds, you want to consume about 75 ounces of water a day. And so make sure that you're not dehydrating yourself, and make sure you're not falling into some of these other traps that I just mentioned here that are going to cause you to gain weight and not get the results that you're looking for when you're doing intermittent fasting. Now be sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you have questions, put it in the comment section below. And also, if you want to learn more about nutrition, exercise, proper supplementation, how to reverse health conditions, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification so you're notified every time a new video is released. And then lastly, check out the videos over here on how I can help you improve your health. I'll see you in the next video.